Ooh, it sure was a cold one in the state of Michigan this week, but that is not holding us back to give you the state champs high school hockey report.
And welcome back to the State Champs High School Hockey Report. I'm Jonathan Kidd along with Sean Belegian. Sean, how are you today?
Excellent, John. Great to be here, man.
The High School Hockey Report is presented by the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association and is also brought to you by the MHSAA and National Coney Island. All right, so let's get right to it from last week. Sean, you took in the Detroit Catholic Central Trenton hockey game on Wednesday. 1-0.
It was awesome. It was a tremendous high school hockey game. I mean, the margin of error in that game was so small. The only goal in the game was a power play goal, so that tells you how close that team is. I've been saying it all year long, John. I think Trenton is this close. And I'm not talking just in Division II. I'm talking about the whole thing. And they didn't do anything to change my mind on Wednesday night. That was a gut check win for Catholic Central. You know, they certainly were down a couple guys and everything, but they found a way to gut it out and win that hockey game. But honestly, if you're Trenton, you have to feel very good about yourself going out and playing the way that you did.
Catholic Central had to turn it around on Saturday. They faced another rival in UD Jesuit, another 1-0 game.
Yeah, I mean, it goes to show you again, you know, when you're Catholic Central, they play by a different set of circumstances than other teams. There's a target on Catholic Central each and every week. There's no doubt about that. Every game, somebody wants to be the team to knock off Catholic Central. And I hate to use the same term that I just did for the Trenton game, but it's gut check, John. I mean, they found a way to grind it out against one of the best teams, not only in Division III, but in the entire landscape of Michigan high school hockey. So here's another team we've talked about since the beginning of the year. UDJ is great. I think that's a great hockey team. I like that team a lot in Division III. So it'll be interesting to see how that plays itself out moving forward.
I took in the Woodhaven Detroit Country Day game on Friday, and Woodhaven extended their winning streak to 18 games by beating Country Day 2-1. Zach Robinson, our Player of the Year candidate, scores with 8 seconds into overtime.
Yeah, you know what? For the hockey fans out there, I think everybody thinks of Brian Skrudlin in 9 seconds. I may be showing my age, so for the youngers out there, make sure you look it up. But no, I mean, outstanding. And you know what, John, to me, that really showcased two of the players on our National Coney Island list. Grab a Coney, by the way. You've got Robinson, as you mentioned, scoring the goal, and you've got, again, Sam Avola, who's absolutely outstanding. Two teams that are capable of knocking anybody off in Division II and Division III once a playoff starts.
And with that win, Woodhaven won the Metro East Division title, and I had a chance to talk with Zach Robinson after the game.
Feels unbelievable. You know, that was a goal coming into the season. We wanted to set a couple of the goals, and that was definitely on the top of our list. Feels great to score that game-winning goal. I saw a seam right up the middle. Carson was wide, so I just passed it to him and crashed the net, and he hit my stick when I was cutting through, so it's just an unbelievable feeling. It's an unbelievable win for the team.
Sean, with Woodhaven, it's like what Coach Sullivan said in the podcast last week. They're not a one-man show. They got a bunch of weapons on that team.
Yeah, you know, we've been talking about it. I think that people that think that it's just Zach Robinson, look again. And when you're winning that many games, okay, forget about games in a row, but when you're winning that many games, you're obviously doing something right. You have to go back a while to look at their last loss. It's a great story, and a team that, as you know, as we've said with the rankings, that's a top 10 team right now. Make no mistake about it.
One of the top games in Division II last week, Livonia Stevenson taking on Heartland, and the Spartans took out Heartland 3-2.
Well, it shouldn't surprise anybody, and I hope for the fans in Heartland that are listening, I hope you take that in the proper context. These two have been doing battle for so long. Now, this has really turned into one of the best rivalries in the state in recent years. It doesn't have, you know, all the decades, so to speak. I happen to agree with you. Catholic Central Trenton, there's something different with that. If I had to say that there was a best rivalry in the state, I might just say that. In the last 6 years, though, Heartland and Stevenson has turned into something. Props to Mitchell and the Spartans to go in there. By all accounts, it was exactly what you expect Heartland and Stevenson to be. They went at it, but in the end, Stevenson found a way. They came back and got the job done.
And they had to turn around the next day, and they played Detroit Country Day, and Country Day beat them 4-3.
Well, and that shouldn't surprise anybody as well. I mean, that's the way it is. Country Day, defending Division III champion, they've been around our top 10 all year. You knew that they were going to bounce back after that tough overtime loss to Woodhaven. So literally just a few blocks away from where we're sitting right now, they really kind of took the high off of Stevenson. Stevenson Friday night was feeling really good about themselves, but it's just a reminder again how much parity there is in high school hockey, John. I mean, Country Day can go play with anybody, and they knock Stevenson off the perch.
And we go to the west side of the state, the Battle of the Forest Hills. Forest Hills Northern Eastern takes out Forest Hills Central 3-1.
Yeah, outstanding. No doubt about that. We've been talking about Forest Hills NE. I think that they've kind of put themselves on a perch. The next night, I know East Grand Rapids had something to say about that, but you can't say enough about the job that Coach Bissett has done with NE. I mean, they've been a mainstay, it seems like, for years running now at USA Hockey Arena. It's going to be tough to knock them out in that region when the playoffs start, but a great game. I think for Coach Zaschek and the Rangers, that's a good team. That's a young team. So, the best is probably yet to come for them, but a big statement by NE.
Yeah, and NE had to go up the next night, and they took on East Grand Rapids, and East Grand Rapids took them out 5-3.
Yeah, the Pioneers are playing really good hockey. We put them in our ranking last week, John, for a reason. I think now, if I'm not mistaken off the top of my head, I think that they've won 10 of their last 12 with a loss and a tie in there. So Pioneers are playing some good hockey, certainly making a case for perhaps being the best team on the west side right now.
And we go up north, Alpena in the news again. Cooper Black setting the school record for shutouts in the season.
Unbelievable season, not only by Cooper Black, but certainly by Alpena. That's one of the teams I got a circle on. I want to see Coach Limback and Coach Givens and the gang at the showcase. More on that in just a minute, but a tremendous season. And I'll tell you what, John, when we're talking about our Player of the Year list, Cooper Black is a guy that deserves serious consideration. It's not just the shutouts. His overall numbers are absolutely absurd, and that's the thing about the showcase. It gives teams and it gives individuals the opportunity to showcase what they can do. Should be a dandy.
And lastly, Cranbrook, Andy Weidenbach, 500 wins.
Unbelievable. I mean, he's such a class act. He's done so much. Forget about for Cranbrook. He's done so much for Michigan high school hockey. We're certainly going to miss him when he calls it quits at the end of the year. Couldn't be happier for him. John, I know you've had a chance to talk to him. I've had a chance to talk to him over the years. I jokingly call him the Godfather. I mean, honestly, he's the Godfather as far as I'm concerned of what high school hockey is today. So congratulations to Andy.
Hey, high school hockey fans, I'm Jenna Skelski, and when we come back, Sean talks with Novi head coach Mark Vellucci in our Coach's Corner. You're watching the State Champs High School Hockey Report presented by the Michigan High School Hockey Coaches Association.
National Coney Island is serving up what you love, fast, fresh, and friendly, like our award-winning Coney, Honey, or handcrafted burger. So you can get what you want, when you want it. National Coney Island, your craving is calling.
There's an old saying, you can never have too many officials. The age of the average official is 52 and getting older all the time. We're constantly recruiting new people, younger people to join us. After you register with the MHSAA, look on the website to find an officials association near you. They'll put you in a position to succeed as an official. We all learned a lot from high school sports, and officiating is a great way to give back to the game. There's help wanted, just whistle.
Touchdown, Falcons.
All right, welcome back in. It is time for the coaches segment here on the High School Hockey Podcast. My name is Sean Belegian. Kindly joining us Not only is he in his 6th year as the head coach at Novi, but on the board, the Coaching Association board in the state of Michigan. Let's welcome him in. He is Coach Mark Vellucci. Mark, always a pleasure to see you, my friend. How are you, bud?
Thank you, Sean, for having me.
You know, a few weeks ago, I want to start with this about your team. A few weeks ago, I'm online and I see on Twitter you posted a great tweet about before the Christmas break, you kind of talked to your team. You were in one of those moments where the season could go this direction, that direction. And you said, hey, listen, guys, we got a little break. Ask yourselves, are you in or are you out? And the way your team has responded since the Christmas break kind of tells you what the answer was. Can you share everybody the background on that story?
Sure, yeah. You know, we were struggling the first half of the year trying to find our identity, and I think it was either around the Heartland game where we got mercied by them, and I think I came in the room afterwards and just pretty much said that. I said, look it, guys, you're either in or you're out. And ever since, it's been the guys have been in. I mean, every single one of them has been in, and they're actually buying into the program and the concept. And quite honestly, it was a change in how we coach as a team too, and just everything's been a real attitude and really a culture change.
Love to see that, too, when a young team, and you guys still are young, make no mistake about it, when a young team responds, had a chance to see you against Northville. I thought you were outstanding defensively. This past weekend, you knocked off Brighton. You fell to a pretty good team from Ike. Of course, Bob Hall, also a member of the Coaches Association. But tell us about what has jumped out to you about your play. As I said, just to reiterate, I thought you played so well defensively against Northville. Is that where it's starting for you guys?
For sure. We as soon as we made the decision to change our thought processes, we've worked on defensive zone coverage, and against Northville, I thought it was probably the best defensively we've ever played, not only as a team this year but as a program. And it's just a credit to the players and to the coaches buying into what we're preaching and coaching them. And yeah, the Northville game was awesome. Obviously, it's a rivalry game, and we haven't had much success in the years we played them. And it was a total dominant performance led by our goalie, Ethan Hunsinger. And then defensively on out, just it was a great effort that night.
Mark Vellucci, of course, the head coach at Novi, kindly joining us. For people out there that don't know, the dynamic at Novi Ice Arena is very unique because you share it with, of course, the Northville Mustangs. And as far as I'm concerned, Mark, it's a great spot to have some playoff action as well. You guys have been able to host in years gone by, hosting again this year. But talk about that dynamic. I mean, you've got two rivals, two cities right next to each other, basically sharing the same facility. That's got to be fun.
It is, and our locker rooms are right across from one another. And what's nice about the rivalry, it's a healthy, respectful rivalry. You know, we want to win our games against them, but we play them twice a year. And, you know, Clint Robert was there the last few years, and I have good friendship, and now Gordy Brown and I also have it. And it's just a nice, healthy rivalry. You still want to win games. That, you know, in years past, maybe before I was there, it got a little chippy and a little too excited for a game. But now it's just, you know, guys grew up playing with one another, you know, in the same rink, and now they're against one another. So it's nice, and it's quite honestly what a rivalry should be. One
of the best atmospheres for a game, really. It's a fun game. That's one that maybe you should put a circle on and see if you can get a chance to get at the Novi Ice Arena to see Northville and Novi get together. So many things to talk to you before we ask you to take your coach's hat off momentarily. The public showcase is coming up. You guys have been such a big part of that. I know you've been a big part of that. The last couple coaching jobs that you've had, but talk a little bit about what going out to the public showcase means to you.
It's a great atmosphere. Every year it's gotten better and better. There's more scouts have been out there. This year we've kind of cut it down to Thursday through Sunday. Quite honestly, it was just a long week for all the workers and all the volunteers. Don Wright, our executive director, does a great job along with his daughter, Jennifer Vetter. And it's just a great time out there. It's really good quality games. We try to get the better public schools to show up, and we try to match up schedule-wise with teams, how they're doing at that time. Ryan Osemacher from Salem does a really good job. He helps out with the scheduling. And, you know, this year we got Lakeland on our schedule along with Rockford, two teams that haven't really played much. I never played Rockford, but Lakeland played when I was at Farmington, the OAA. But, looking forward to a good weekend, good games, and hopefully the weather cooperates. Last year it was a little tough with the storm and some games canceled, but hopefully now with the weather turning cold this week, next week, and it should be good, hopefully to play games.
It's a great spot, too, in Chelsea. I mean, it's literally right off of 94, so it's one of those easy spots to get to. I know I've been out there a couple times. State Champs has been out there as well, and we're going to try to get out there this weekend as well. You know, Coach, as I mentioned, you're part of the Coaches Association. You're on the board, and I know it's cliche, but it has to be said anyway. It just seems like every year you guys get better and better, and the goals that you accomplish, or the goals that you set, you are accomplishing, and everybody's rowing in the same direction. Talk about how that process has been for you guys, because you guys are really doing some work. We were talking off the air, some things that we're not going to share on the air, but really things are moving in the right direction.
For sure. You know, we've added Coach Mitchell from Stevenson this year. He's been a huge part of the board, and quite honestly, everyone on the board, and we've added some 4 area reps from the UP, the West Side, and the Metro area, and the mid section of the state. And we're on we meet every other week and online, and it's just been a great, really good time, and great for the state of Michigan hockey. And everyone's contributing. Everyone contributes. Everyone has a role. Everyone does something to help out.
It's kind of fascinating when you think about it that you guys are like literally sitting there with computer screens in front of you like this, having the conversation where, one guy's in the UP, you might have Givens up in Traverse City, whatever the case may be, but you're having your conversation via Skype. Is that basically the way that it works?
It's called Zoom, okay. But it's very similar. We're all at our desks at our home, and usually a Monday night, 8 o'clock, 8:30, and we're on for an hour and a half, and we get things done. We're getting things done, and quite honestly, another big important note is we're working really close with Cody Englis from the state, and we're doing things through him. And I got chewed out a little last year about saying change is coming, but changes are actually coming. So if we want to call it change part 2, change is coming part 2, we can call it that. But whether next year or the year after, I think good things are going to happen for the state of Michigan high school hockey.
That's the thing that I'm glad that you brought that up, and we've had Cody on the show before. Shout out to Cody, to be sure. That's the thing. At the end of the day, when you peel all the layers away, everybody wants the same thing for this product. And you might come at it from a different way than this coach will come at it, or this administrator comes at it. But at the end of the day, everybody wants the same thing. And I think you're seeing more cohesiveness. And again, that row in the same direction. And you have guys, you mentioned Ryan Ossenmacher, he's not on the board or anything, but guys are pitching in, and it really is a camaraderie type of situation.
It is, and I think the last 10 years we've kind of gone away from that a little bit, and I think it's slowly starting to turn around, and coaches and programs are not just worried about their own programs, they're worrying about the state of the game. And led by you guys, with your support we get from you guys, it's just been awesome, and it's been a fun part to be a part of. Well,
it's going to be certainly a sprint down the stretch. There's a lot of big hockey to be played before the playoffs start. Novi actually hosting one of the regionals. But before we get to that, a lot of hockey to be played, including the public showcase out in Chelsea. So if you have an opportunity, get out to Chelsea, get out to Novi Ice Arena to see his team in action as well. And Mark Vellucci, always a pleasure to see you. Thanks for everything you do. Seriously, I know you guys put in so much hard work, and we certainly appreciate it here.
Same to you guys. Thanks, Sean.
Jonathan and Sean update you in our National Coney Island Hockey Player of the Year race, and we preview the upcoming MIHL Prep Hockey Showcase down in Trenton. The High School Hockey Report will be right back.
National Coney Island is serving up what you love, fast, fresh, and friendly, like our award-winning Coney, Honey, or handcrafted burger. So you can get what you want, when you want it. National Coney Island, your craving is calling.
I admit it, I love working with money, negotiating, and making big decisions. That's why I'm majoring in finance and economics at Lawrence Tech. What's truly amazing about the education here is the small class sizes that give me easy access to my professors who truly care about my future. They even helped me get a great internship. And I was able to fulfill my lifelong dream of playing college golf. Lawrence Tech, where Blue Devils dare.
Welcome back to the State Champs High School Hockey Report. I'm Jonathan Kidd along with Sean Belizean, and it's time now for our National Coney Island High School Hockey Player of the Year race. You can vote at statechampsnetwork.com. Our top 10 are going to be at the MIHL Showcase this weekend.
Yeah, and you know what? It's interesting because, John, I was telling you off the air, true story, okay? You can listen to this while you're devouring a Coney or four. I was talking to some of the coaches today, and there's some talk of a little shakeup, not a lot of shakeup. And this is going to be a great opportunity at the showcase for a couple of the guys that are knocking on the door. I can think of two off the top of my head that we were talking about. Pretty darn good player at Saginaw Heritage. I'm not going to give anything away. Let's just put it this way. We met him last year. I actually took a selfie with him as well. And a kid from Alpena as well. You know, those are a couple of the names that were brought up. There were also a couple names brought up from Catholic Central, that might need to be revisited. So that's the beauty of the showcase. We talked about it in the earlier segment. Not only is this a showcase for some of the great teams and some of the great hockey, but it's a showcase for some of the great players as well. So not only will scouts be there, but our committee will be there as well, kind of re-examining, if you will, our player of the year top 10 at this point in time.
And quickly, talk about our only goalie on our list, Sam Avola from Detroit Country Day. We've talked about Calumet, Cranbrook, UD, Jesuit, teams in Division III. It seems like people have forgotten that Country Day is the defending Division III state champ.
I think maybe, John, for us, that's kind of funny because I firmly believe this, and yes, I'm patting myself on the shoulder. We talked about them before anybody last year. I mean, really, when they put that winning streak together, it was absurd. They just kept winning games, and the thing that you notice is the way they were winning games. And I said it last year, I'm going to say it again. I think, number one, Coach Novak is a tremendous coach, and he's well-respected amongst his peers. And number two, when you have a guy like Sam Avola, a team can go out and play with some confidence in front of them. But make no mistake about it, that team is not Sam Avola only. If you watched their run that concluded with the Division III championship last year, you saw that for yourselves. So they're a danger to anybody. John, I have them in that same tier, of teams. There's maybe 5, 6, dare I say 7 teams in Division III that can flex the muscle and say, at year's end, we can get the job done. You are absolutely fooling yourself if you don't include Detroit Country Day on that list.
All right, and remember, you can vote at statechampsnetwork.com. The leading vote getter automatically gets into the Final Four, so go out and vote. All right, as we wrap it up here on the State Champs High School Hockey Report, we are going to preview the MIHL Hockey Showcase. That's going to be a trend. Sean, what's been your experiences at the showcase over the years?
It's unbelievable. I mean, it really is. John, it's not only do you get to see, perhaps some of the teams you don't get to see all that often, or in some cases at all. I'm really looking forward to seeing Calumet. We've been talking up the Copper Kings. A lot of coaches were talking up the Copper Kings. I think you saw the Ascension start last year. I'm really excited to see them in particular. But, John, I mentioned this, and I need to mention it again. I can't tell you the amount of scouts that you see there. And these are guys that I've seen in the OHL from my time working in the OHL, or the USHL from my time working in the USHL. Guys that I even knew up to the NHL level that I've been able to see. So it's just such a great weekend of hockey, and the organizers that put this together, from Johnson to Andy to Ronayne to Scott Locke, who puts all the schedules together. It's absolutely phenomenal. So all that hard work really makes a great weekend.
The matchups of the MIHL Prep Hockey Showcase is on your screen right now. Sean, what matchups intrigue you? I love
Alpena and Flint Powers. Absolutely love it. Because you're talking about a guy in Cooper Black who is one of the best goaltenders in the state. Luke Evo, as I mentioned, I've had coaches tell me they think he's the best forward in the state. I love DCD and De La Salle, because DCD is the defending champion. They are not going to give rid of that crowd so easily. And De La Salle might be the best team in Division III right now, so that certainly jumps out to me as well. So many games, Cranbrook and Houghton getting together. You know how hard Corey Markham's teams play. Calumet and Stevenson getting together, as we've been talking about. I can't wait to see the Copper Kings. They're in action twice this weekend. Really looking forward to that. One that really jumps out to me is Saginaw Heritage. Saginaw Heritage has 2 big games. Don't fool yourself. Saginaw Heritage has played some good teams this year. They knocked off Brighton. They've knocked off Forest Hill Central. They knocked off NE. But this is going to be a big test this weekend for Saginaw Heritage, taking on Brother Rice and Orchard Lake St. Mary's over the weekend. So many good games. Heartland Trenton. I mean, come on.
The rematch of the Division II state final from last year.
Heartland Calumet. I mean, just that's first thing Saturday morning. So many darn good games in the mix. Catholic Central, Notre Dame Academy up there in Wisconsin. Plymouth and Forest Hill Central is one that intrigues me. So there's something for everybody at this tournament.
We're going to be out there on Friday. We're going to be doing our podcast for next week. So as always, come talk to us and all that stuff.
Look forward to it. Come say hello. And certainly if you have any tips for us and things that you think that we should look out for, we'd love to hear it. John, I think I'm going to be Captain Obvious here, but I know that you'll agree with this. We can't get out to every game. I wish it was completely possible. We do our best to talk to coaches and keep in touch. So if you're a coach, if you're a fan, if you're a player, and there's something that you think that we should pick up, by all means, get a hold of us, and we'll certainly listen to the tap on the shoulder.
And also, too, State Champs, the high school sports show that you can see every Sunday at 9 a.m. is also going to be out there on Friday. We're going to be doing our show from the Prep Hockey Showcase, and select the games will be on our show from Friday. Will be on Sunday at 9 a.m. on Fox Sports Detroit.
That's it for the State Champs High School Hockey Report. Tune in next week as Jonathan and Sean will be at the MIHL Prep Hockey Showcase in Trenton. We'll see you at the rink.